guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be crazy. It's going to be about all of the recent feud between Gabbie Hanna and literally everyone else on the internet, including Graceffa, who's always been so out of drama, but also like Trisha Paytas, Manny MUA, and all these other people. But before we get into it, I'm doing an iPad giveaway, so check out this video if you're interested in entering. It's also going to be somewhere on the screen, so you can just click on that. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel, turn your post notifications on, and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about Gabbie's latest episode of her series called Chapter 4 Escape the Nightmare. Now, this is a 40-minute video, but the first 20 minutes she says absolutely nothing, and I sat through it all for you guys to make sure that you guys are getting all the tea, so you're welcome in advance. She first acknowledges the Kenza cosmetic scandal. If you don't remember that one, a couple years back, Gabbie promoted these like really cheapo makeup brushes where you technically only had to pay a couple of bucks for shipping to get them. Some people weren't receiving their products at all after ordering, and a lot of people who did receive it were unhappy with the quality. Gabbie had apologized for promoting it at the time, but I also remember her saying something along the lines of, well, you get what you pay for, so these are obviously really cheap brushes. In this video, she continues to defend herself, saying that she'd never want to scam her fans. A lot of other people also promoted Kenza Cosmetics, but she was the only one getting as much backlash, which is kind of true. The internet loves to hate on Gabbie Hanna. She again specifically calls out Angelica Oles for targeting her.
She literally starts every story when it comes to me. I really have like a deep disdain for her, and I'll be very honest about that. I think that she has done some really terrible things for the sake of money.
She says that drama channels really jumped the gun into calling her a scammer before she even had the chance to defend herself.
Always apologize if I do something wrong, if I react in a way that's embarrassing, but I never get an apology for what they did.
But she admits she made a bad business choice and she's still sorry about it. She contacted her fans at the time trying to handle the situation in private. Then she finally moves on to talk about Escape the Night. She shows these clips of Graceffa and his boyfriend Daniel talking about her.
For Gabbie, I had issues with her. I also had issues with her on season 2. I don't think I've ever said her name publicly, but it's not really news to anyone. She was miserable to work with for the most part. There were good moments. If she was great on camera, which she was, and she was very entertaining, I forget about all that shit. And then season 4, she was a nightmare. I'm not going to expand upon that because I don't really care anymore. It was just hard. There were a lot of diva antics. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of unprofessional behavior. It was miserable, but it turned out entertaining on the show, so I can't really hold that against her.
Oh, there was one in season 4 too.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, that was season 4 was my least favorite to film by far.
Why?
Just because
Drama?
of this one person on the cast who just made it hell.
Really?
Is it true that there was drama on the set of season 4?
Yeah, absolutely.
How's Gabbie?
Gabbie was very competitive. She
would be.
She was. Like, I wasn't
feel like
expecting
she's lost
it
some
at
weight and is
all.
looking
No,
good now.
she was
Like,
she was
fuck it, I'm
Miss
coming for
Bitch.
you.
I would never play Mafia with her. You know that game?
I wouldn't play any game with her. She'll own up to the fact that she was a little nasty on set sometimes.
Gabbie says that this is a almost theme in her life where she feels like someone is her friend, but then she finds out that was never the case. So this was just embarrassing for her and truly did hurt her so much because she actually felt like Joey and Daniel were her real friends. She and Daniel exchanged these texts before he released his video. She said, I would really appreciate it if you guys could just let it rest, please. I'm trying really hard to disappear and leave everyone alone, but stuff like this really hurts. Daniel says, hey babe, I'm sorry, I wasn't there or part of that. She starts off from the start. Her agent asked her to do Escape the Night season 4 after having already done season 2. She said she didn't want to do it because she didn't enjoy the experience at all the first time around.
And I told him my reasons, which were I was really dealing with a lot of very bad mental health issues, and my eating disorder was at an all-time peak. This was around the time of the monster meme, the Kenza Cosmetics thing. There was a lot of shit going on. And also, I did not like the first experience that I was there.
She says that the reason she didn't enjoy the experience was due to herself being unprofessional, but of course she does bring up the ADHD thing.
Dude, a lot of people have a lot of stories about me being unprofessional. I promise you that. Like, there's no shortage of them. I used to be really difficult to work with, and probably in the wrong setting, I'm still really difficult to work with.
This actually I do kind of relate to as well, maybe, but I don't know if that's my ADHD or just me being a bitch. She says that she just didn't like sitting around all idle doing nothing. She always needs to be doing something. She wasn't even allowed to be on her laptop when she wasn't on screen. The hours were way too long, sometimes going on until 4 or 5 a.m. And while a lot of people may be all right with that, she just can't function like that. So she just wasn't too eager to go back on season 4. But then Joey and Daniel insisted that she do it, saying that we loved you, let us know what we can do to make you feel comfortable and we'll do it.
And I laid it out pretty clearly. In each meal, I need a protein, a carb, and a vegetable. I sent specific meals just so there was no like question. And I was promised that that would happen.
So she requested the food thing and also more comfortable clothes. They said that they could do it, but they ended up never delivering it and got Gabbie upset.
And I was hearing that he was like playing out voice notes of me being upset that there wasn't like the proper food on set.
They're playing me their own audio messages of Gabbie cursing people out because they don't have the right food or whatever the case is. Like,
it's you, Gabbie. Think about it. Think of all the people you screwed over. The people that you f***ed up their set because of your eating and training schedule. Things weren't catered to you. You're a fucking piece of shit.
she causes chaos on sets because they don't have her healthy snacks and she has to be at a gym at 10 a.m. because that's her routine. You're a psychopath.
Wait, why does Trisha keep inserting herself into this? Like, I'm so confused. Where is this all coming from? She calls Daniel and Joey two of the biggest talkers on the planet and says that it was just very humiliating for her. She complains about the wardrobe and how uncomfortable it was. She told them that she was allergic to all metals, but they gave her metal jewelry anyway, which made her break out and hives all over her body. She complains about the early call times. They would start filming at 8 p.m., but they would make her be there by like 2 p.m. and just sit there and glam. But this is honestly how show business works. I know a lot of people who've had similar experiences. But this was also, even though they were filming up until like 5 a.m. the night before. Gabbie says she knew this was going to be the experience, so she should have just held her ground and not gone back for season 4.
And just been like, I love you, I want to support you, but like this is a no for me.
The thing that pissed her off was that one day when she had to film the interview portion of the series, the producers kept coming up to her and asking if she was ready, and she kept being like, yeah, and then they'd keep disappearing on her. Next thing she knows, she gets an email from her agent saying, Gabbie, you can't refuse to do your interviews.
And I was like, I'm not refusing to do interviews. I'm literally sitting here waiting and nobody's getting me or miking me. How is this my fault? Like, I literally felt like I was going crazy because there was literally nowhere else to go. You were either in the hair and makeup trailer or you were in the green room. Whose fault is it that I didn't do interviews? Like, what do you want me to do?
Then at like 4 p.m. she asks for food and they're like, the kitchen opens at 5. She asks Daniel and he's like, they're taking orders at 4:30, but they had nothing that Gabbie could eat.
What? I've been here all day and there's nothing but snacks available. Like, this is fucking nuts, dude. So I blew up at the director. I blew up at probably Daniel and not Joey. I was very careful not to blow up at Joey.
And then from there, everyone would just go around and say Gabbie's a diva, which I mean, she kind of was. She sends a long-ass text the next day to Joey and Daniel saying, I hope you know I really am sorry for sucking. I was really nervous to agree to do the show because I'm literally mentally unstable and didn't want to ruin it for anyone, but I also wanted to be there to support you in the show. I really am so grateful that you guys wanted me to be a part of it. I was genuinely excited to play. I just still am so bad at dealing with my emotions, and instead of showing some type of vulnerability, I get super defensive and act tough in the moment, then cry to someone else about it later so I don't cry in front of people. My anxiety and eating disorder shit has been pretty bad since all of the hate videos from the monster/Kenza foolishness that literally just died down like 2 weeks ago. I think I overworked myself so much making sure I was ahead of schedule for shooting so I wouldn't get so wound up that by the time shooting came, I was already at my end. I just want you guys to know I really truly had the intention of being a positive and supportive friend, and I'm really upset with myself for letting you down. I hope the rest of everything was amazing. Gabbie says that there should have been an apology on both sides. Yes, she acted very emotionally and could have handled herself way better, but they also should have taken ownership for what they did to contribute to that as well.
Like, dude, you didn't respect me as a person, as a friend, as a creator, as a talent on your show. Like, how unprofessional and gross is it that you as a producer of a show, when you needed something to talk about for views, literally would throw me under the bus when you literally were just in my home decorating it for content?
Daniel replies saying, you're making my heart ache. I appreciate this apology so much. I know it wasn't easy. All these things. We're rooting for you to find your happiness and we are always here for you. Joey says, thanks so much for reaching out and apologizing. It's not an easy production, and like I said, I appreciate you making the time to be a part of it. Ending the text off with saying, I'm so thankful you were a part of it. Everything looks like it ended off just fine, right? Not quite. She then goes on to expose the crap out of Daniel for being two-faced. So before their annual Christmas party, Daniel tweeted, "Me right now planning our annual Christmas party and seeing who's been naughty or nice before sending invitations." Gabbie figured that it was maybe about her, so she reached out saying, "If you can't invite me to your party because drama, I totally understand." Daniel's like, "No, Trisha, she's way too polarizing and just not a good look." Oh my god, I can't believe this. I can't believe people will actually go and talk behind their own friends' backs like this. Gabbie says, "Yeah, I figured her." But also like me, LMAO, I genuinely won't be offended. He goes, "I'm completely good. You haven't done anything to anyone. Trisha has hurt a lot of people who I'm inviting. I don't want Manny or Laura not coming because of her." But then he goes on to uninvite Gabbie out of absolutely nowhere. Gabbie says, "I'm just very hurt, mostly because I gave you an out and you didn't take it, so I was looking forward to the party and bought a gift for it. So seeing it in my timeline took me off guard. I thought that we were friends on like a real level and not for internet shit, so I'm honestly just surprised and not to be dramatic, but heartbroken. But I get it. It's all part of the job. I hope you guys have a really good holiday and I'm happy your party went well." Nor sarcasm. And then Daniel's fake ass goes, "Of course I was going to. We are totally fine. I'm sorry. I should have reached out prior, but since we last chatted and all the other stuff happened after that text, and it got overwhelming for me with everything going on in our lives the past few weeks. I'm just so confused. Why is he being so fake?" She says it's just so messed up that they would pretend to be her friend and accept her apology, but then unaccept her apology out of nowhere and suddenly turn against her.
Because you're either being fake then and pretending to like me for content or followers or to be on your billboard, or you're being fake now when you threw me under the bus the second you felt like it was safe.
I don't know, man. I never really got into escape the night drama myself, so I don't personally have any opinions on this, but oh, does everyone else on the planet have an opinion? Rosanna Pansino came out in defense of Joey and Daniel, saying, "Joey and Daniel were extremely patient and accommodating during filming season 3 and 4 of Escape the Night. I personally witnessed them both try to take care of every single cast member more than any other set I've been in 14 plus years. They both even paid out of their own pocket to make sure we had the nicest trailer with everything we requested. The crew was also very professional, organized, and hardworking. I don't like drama, but Gabbie's video paints an untruthful picture of what happened. Much of it is simply false. 1. Gabbie did not come to the 3 wardrobe fittings before filming. At 2 of my fittings, I was told Gabbie was supposed to be there that day but didn't show up. She chose not to go at all, so the wardrobe department did their best to make a costume without being able to see her. I too had some issues with my wardrobe, but was able to work with the production team to get them resolved at the fittings. 2. The entire cast was sent a dietary restriction/request form days before filming. Every single request I made on the form was taken care of by Joey and Daniel. I personally heard Gabbie tell Joey the first day of filming, "I didn't fill them out. I hope that's okay." Keep in mind, meals are ordered before production begins, so everything is ready ahead of time. That is the time to make dietary requests or bring your own food. 3. I also personally witnessed Daniel leaving set to get Gabbie any food that she wanted. There was also many healthy options, including a salad bar with protein. Despite all of this, she blamed Joey multiple times for causing her eating disorder to come back. That was kind of like a ridiculous thing to blame someone else for. Like, yeah, I don't know, I guess, whatever. 4. During the photo shoot press day, long after the show wrapped shooting, Gabbie called one of the female production assistants a dumb and walked off set without finishing her shoot. The reason? Because the crew member gave an updated shoot time that was 10 minutes difference than she was originally told. 5. I also have ADHD and I'm very familiar with the anxiety and stress it can cause. However, that is simply not an excuse to treat people like that and behave in that manner. I don't think Gabbie realized that I could unfortunately hear many of the conversations she was having with Joey in production because my part of the trailer shared a paper-thin wall with Joey's. I did my best to avoid my private room for this reason, but from what I did hear, I can say I've never experienced someone talk like that. This is just a few of the falsehoods in her video, but I'll stop there. She was the most difficult, mean, and selfish person I've ever experienced on set. Oftentimes, exposing videos are produced in a way to leave out key details. Please keep in mind when viewing this type of content. Def Noodles noted that Bretman Rock and Tana Mojo liked Rosanna Pansino's tweet debunking allegations made by Gabbie Hanna about her alleged experience with Joey Graceffa and Daniel Preda on Escape the Night. Alex Wassabi also tweeted, "Not looking for drama, but I have to say Joey Graceffa and Mr. Preda were 100% the most amazing, respectful, and professional on-set duo I've ever worked with. They went above and beyond for every cast member involved in both both seasons that I was honored and grateful to be a part of. Manny MUA tweeted, "Just a friendly reminder that Mr. Preda and Joey Graceffa are both incredible, hardworking people who do their damn best to accommodate everyone the best they can. I love them so much." Gabbie Hanna, who changed her name to the common denominator on Twitter, tweeted, "You're allowed to have to experience as I can have mine. 1, I did have wardrobe fittings. I couldn't make the last one, but I was at 2. 2, my needs were sent to my agent and communicated directly to D&J beforehand. 3, on day 3, Daniel finally got me food. 4, I've already acknowledged that I was a massive bitch and acted in an embarrassing manner, so that's not news. I don't remember it like that, but I wouldn't be surprised. 5, important to know that ADHD is not one size fits all, and there are different types and manifestations. My ADHD information is to educate, not to excuse, which is why I apologized for it. I've never tried to excuse my actions. I'm only speaking because Daniel and Joey continue to speak publicly about something I've already expressed remorse for." T-Spill tweeted, "Funny how no one on the set of Escape the Night had issues with how things were run or with Daniel and Joey, except for Gabbie Hanna." Daniel himself also responds to Rosanna, being like, "Thank you, Rosanna, for your candid response. You were such a professional and wonderful addition to our brilliant cast during both seasons 3 and 4 and continue to be such an incredibly talented, supportive friend in the industry." He goes on to say, "It's unfortunate to see myself and a show I worked extremely hard to produce for 4 years painted in such a dark light in order to attempt another 15 minutes of internet relevancy. At best, it's manipulative and delusional. You want the truth, but the question is, can you handle mine?" Joey Graceffa also responds saying, "I've been very silent about how truly awful she was on set, but if this is the game she wants to play, let's play, bitch. LMAO, you're always playing. LMAO, always playing the victim." Gabbie responds saying, "Joey tweet and deleted this to a fan the night apologized to Gabbie Hanna was trending. These are not nice people. Their group of friends are mean, toxic high school bullies, and I'm the weird girl they like to laugh at. They're just better at hiding their flaws than mine." So when apologize to Gabbie Hanna was trending, Joey responds to saying, "Let's not." Gabbie says, "Let Joey and Mr. Preda expose whatever they've been threatening to expose me with. All it does is further demonstrate their cruelty and bullying. I've already said I was a raging bitch, as have they. They're not proving anything except that they're also bitches. I actually made it pretty clear in my video that I was very difficult to work with and I was a total bitch the whole time. I've taken accountability to you privately twice and now publicly, but I'm positive you will not. You've called me a bitch behind my back and smiled in my face for years." Then they continued to bully, mock, and harass me despite the fact that I never retaliated. "These are Trisha Paytas' besties, dude, LMAO. They're fake and they talk shit about me and threaten to leak receipts all the time. Anyway, so whatever." This is such a long ass video, by the way. I apologize. But Trisha Paytas also freaking goes on a rant on Twitter saying, "Literally no one has a problem with Joey Graceffa. He literally is the only YouTuber who for real is so kind, who for real never even gossips one-on-one. The only YouTuber who is non-confrontational. If you have a problem with Joey, you are the problem. If you turn off dislikes, you're a coward. It's the internet. If you're gonna post and be a bitch, take all the L's. She wanna be me so bad. Learn how to be a villain without playing the victim." Trisha, are you serious? You play the victim all the frickin' time. Gabbie, I've heard the nasty ways you've talked to people. You're a nasty, hateful person who ruined everything by having an ugly ass heart. Some may say the same thing about yourself, Trisha. You are cold and a snake. Keep trying to be in my narrative. That's the only thing you'll ever be known for. Trying so hard to be me. People don't hate you because of me. People hate you because you lie about everyone, because you'll never be as good as anybody on any platform. You just suck. Your music sucks. Your personality sucks. You're mean. The ugliness radiates out of you. You're disgusting." Okay, someone who says such hateful, terrible things on Twitter to somebody can't be a great person either. Your ugliness is radiating out of you, Trisha. Then she says, "Gabbie, you are not the victim in any of this. You told the world I had when I never spent more than 2 minutes in real life with you at Moral's party. I did nothing to you but tell you to leave me alone because you are scary as hell." Why is Trisha making this about her? Literally shut up, no one cares about you. "I still have done nothing to Gabbie except not be her friend and gaslight the shit out of her. I tried to make peace this year and she just threw delusions after delusions at me and admitted to me she made stuff up in her head yet still aired her lies on her own podcast. Here are the voice memos." And she shared this video that she posted back in April on her YouTube channel exposing, I guess, Gabbie's voice memos to Trisha.
Oh, and I also wanted to quickly say the things that I was wrong about because since I couldn't sleep last night, this was all I was thinking about. Something I was wrong about was we definitely did not have Thanksgiving plans. I went back and looked at that and I I definitely inflated that in my head, where it was more just like, I think you were spending Thanksgiving with Sean's family, and I said none of my friends were in town. You're like, oh my god, I wish I knew. I would have just like stayed home and we could have eaten together. And like, that's what you said. It wasn't like, let's do Thanksgiving together. The other thing was the stuff about poetry. You didn't send me any poetry. I sent you my poetry. So I just didn't want you to feel like I was like making up lies or trying to like gaslight you in any way. That's also kind of why I just want to cut a lot of stuff out, because it's like, we're talking about shit that happened so long ago, and we just have like some different perceptions where it's like neither of us are lying. It's just we perceive shit differently. I'll send you a cut before I put it out, just because like I'm obviously taking stuff out, so if there's anything that you want taken out, definitely happy to do that.
But like, no, Trisha, all this video proves is that Gabbie acknowledges the fact that she was in the wrong in some cases, something that you have failed to do. And Gabbie did in fact cut out a bunch from her podcast that she didn't want out in public, so she didn't make them public. So like, I don't know what you're talking about here. She goes on to say Gabbie's attacking real people, she's not trolling, she has no life, no family, no friends, and she's taking it out on everyone else. Trisha, shut the fuck up. You're one to talk. Then Gabbie responds, by the way, just want to throw out there that Trisha Paytas was trying very hard to get me to talk shit about Joey and Daniel on her podcast, and I refused. She was literally angry with me that I wouldn't. I'm pretty sure she actually mentioned that in one of her 2 follow-up videos. Also, not shocked that I'm being ganged up on by LA YouTubers who pretended to be my friend until it wasn't cool to be anymore. I obviously expected this, and frankly, it doesn't matter. Repeating, the only reason this is happening is because Joey and Daniel made an embarrassing private situation public. I'm the only person who's never allowed to speak about my experiences despite never bringing anything on the internet first. But regardless of all of that, I have apologized and they've accepted. No matter how you slice it, talking shit about someone publicly when they're already going through it is fucked up. Isn't it wild how everyone ignores the fact that all of these people are co-signing that? Gabbie also posts this TikTok describing the situation.
Since Joey and Daniel have talked so much shit about me publicly, people have been asking me about it. So I put out a video talking about my side of it, which is basically I was struggling with a severe eating disorder. I said that I did not want to do the show. Joey and Daniel insisted and really wanted me to. So I told them my needs. They said that they would fulfill those needs and that my dietary restrictions and needs would be met. Spoiler alert, they did not. So I spiraled the way that I knew I would, the way that I made it clear I would. I was very embarrassed. I took accountability and I apologized to them privately to their face. They accepted my apology and continued to pretend to be my friend, coming to my parties, collaborating on my channel. And then as soon as Trisha Paytas made a video about me and it was popular to hate me, they threw me under the bus and continue to this day to talk shit about me for views. So link in bio.
All right, you guys, that was it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I post new videos every day. All right, bye.